You ever read any of the books that have been written about Tibet or about the secret war in Laos? You ever read that stuff? You ever go back and think about it?
Well, yeah, I've read the book, but good God, I can't even remember reading it hardly. I've got the book.
Well, you know, I met General Vang Pao. He was in the Bitterroot.
And what?
General Vang Pao was living over by Hamilton.
Oh, I know, he resettled over there.
Yeah, and I was sitting next to him one night.
I went to his funeral.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Where was that at?
Down in California, I don't know, Beaumont or someplace down there.
Now, did you feel close to him? Did you like him? What was he like?
Oh, I love General Vang Pao. He had more guts than anybody that I've ever seen. You know, he took a lot of chances. And he'd been wounded several times. And no, he stayed right out with his people. And he had I think 24 kids, God, I don't remember, kids, you know. And wherever he'd go, if he went out to the field, he'd take those kids with him. You know, it was like with a damn airplane load almost. He'd come out and take those kids out, show them around, you know. I went to his funeral.
Well, did all the people that in his tribe, did they get out of Vietnam? I mean, not of Vietnam, but out of Laos?
Yeah.
Did they make it out okay?
Oh, I don't think all of them did.
What do you think happened to the rest?
Well, they just went to the hills, where they come from. You know, they survived that long. The male they were hill people, or Hmong, or whatever you want to call it. But I call them male because I respect that name a lot. And they were courageous people.
Did you feel did you feel that you had something in common with them, being from this part of the United States?
I couldn't speak any of the language, but they kind of knew me and what I knew and what I had to do and help them, you know, they understood each other like that. Jerry Daniels spoke male fluently. In fact, I enjoy watching him talk to General Vang Pao. And Jerry he's the only people I could ever get upset with General. He tried to tell the General he had to do it this way. General didn't want to do it that way. Oh God, they'd get into it, squabbles. But Jerry was the operations, the chief of ops, you know, he was just part of it.
The male liked you guys, didn't they?
Huh?
The male tribesmen liked you guys.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, they trusted you. That's a pretty nice story.
Yeah, they're good people. There's quite a few of them down in California.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
And there's a bunch up in Missoula.
Yeah, well, there used to be, I know.
Yeah.
In fact, that's where a bunch of them settled, but they didn't like it. And they went to Minnesota and places like that.
Yeah. Why didn't they like it, do you know?
No, I don't know. I don't know why. No.
Yeah. Huh. I know at one time there was 400 there in Montana. It's quite a few.
I think the cultural change, you know, and things like that. When Jerry died, I didn't go to his funeral. I should have. I was told by my boss when they shipping his body back to the States. My boss says, he said, you don't need to work. He said, why don't you go back to General Vang Pao's funeral? I said, no, I didn't want to.
No, to Jerry's funeral or General Vang Pao? Jerry's funeral?
Jerry's funeral.
Yeah. Why didn't you want to?
I don't know, I just didn't want to.
You and he were close friends, weren't you?
Well, I knew him as well as anybody as an American.
Yeah.
He was quite a person, I think. He'd been wounded quite a few times.
Had he?
I think 7. But he'd go right up there with these people, you know, and he had a lot of respect. In fact, I was in charge of the cargo rigging stuff, getting things organized to put out to different places. So anyway, he got a complaint from the field that I wasn't getting the cargo out to where they was at. General Vang Pao come down, he lived in a big house on the airstrip down in Longchin. Here he come. Him, probably the Jeep load of them, I don't know how many of his guards. And he come up, he says, he knew me, he knew who I was. He knew everybody. He said, Shep, he said, you're not getting he spoke good English if he wanted to. If he didn't, he didn't. He says, you're not getting the cargo out like you're supposed to. Well, I said, that I didn't have any riggers. I said, General, I said, I don't have any people. And he drove off. Him and a couple of jeep loads of them drove off. The next day I had more damn people than I could, and I asked Jerry. I said, Jerry, I said, what the hell did General do to get all these people? He said he shot the lieutenant. And I never did see the lieutenant again. But the lieutenant lived right up there where we rigged cargo. He was gone. He smoked pot all the time. He's out of it.
Yeah. Well, I heard the story about was it a C-47 or C-119 that you were part of the crew on down on the Pacific coast of Guatemala and you had to ditch it. Were you in that? Where you had to ditch the plane?
Well, no, I know what you're talking about. It was the one that crashed in the ocean.
Was it? I thought it was landed on the shore, but it crashed in the ocean?
Yeah, crashed and ran up on the shore. My brother was on it.
Oh, you weren't on that. Okay. Well, what kind of airplane was that?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was C-54 or DC-4. I went down there where it crashed, where it ran up on the beach, and my brother was on it, and so was Paper Legs. They was on a training flight, just training guys to kick cargo out of the airplane. And they made it back. They hit a tree. Oh, I think it was between the number, in fact, number 4 ended out there, and the number 3's here. They hit that tree in between the 2 engines, C-54. And the pilot made it back to the beach, and he landed in the water and then run up on the beach. And my brother, he didn't think much of that. He got out. In fact, he left that next day. Him and Pete both.
They left, they went home, you mean?
Yeah, they went back up. I don't know where they went. You know, the agency had things. They probably went to Laos, maybe. So, wherever something was going on, but my brother, you know, he didn't ever talk about it. But I knew about it, and I knew what happened and stuff like that. And what they was doing was on a training drop, cargo drop.
Yeah.
And they hit a tree between the outboard engine and the inboard engine on the C-54.
So sometimes a guy had to think for himself to stay alive.
Well, they landed on the beach. It was Recaleo was the beach. And they landed on the water and run up on the beach.
Well, I heard that a local a peasant came by and they signed the aircraft over to the
No,
village.
they didn't sign it, he just took it over.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he stayed right there.
Oh, he just
Indian. He stayed right there in that, when it was in the beach. On the beach he'd stay. He'd get in that door, you know, the airplane was in pretty good shape. But you didn't go in that was his.
Oh, he claimed it.
On his piece of ground. So,
Oh, that's funny.
nobody messed with him.
And did somebody finally come and take the airplane away, or just leave it there?
I think they left it.
I'll be darned. Isn't that
I
something?
don't think that Indian let him take it.
That's great. I think that's really great.
It's a regular native, didn't have much teeth. Couple, 3 teeth. And he had a big knife, you know. But you'd go down there, you know, you couldn't even go in it. He wouldn't let you in it. And when they crashed on the beach, they pulled the radios and stuff like that and took them out before somebody else got them. And Miles and Pete and the pilot, co-pilot and pilot. There was another kicker on that, I can't think of who it was. But anyway, they pulled all the radios out.
I read there was a bishop, a Catholic bishop in New Orleans named Hannon, and he used to be a chaplain for the 82nd Airborne. And when that whole Bay of Pigs thing started, he put together chaplain's kits that had the gold St. Michael the Archangel medals in there to give to the paratroopers. Did you ever see those? Those St. Michael's?
Oh, I'm sure I did, but I didn't think much about it. But
Did you ever get one?
that sounds like Father Bashar.
Well, yeah, it could have been. Bouchard might have gone to Bishop to get that stuff, yeah.
He was over in Laos. God, wherever he went, he walked. Or he'd catch a ride on one of our airplanes if it was going where he wanted to go. And I'd tell him, you know, when he'd want to ride, go someplace, I said, no, that's not a very good area. Oh, that's okay, it makes no difference.
Was he like the chaplain?
Huh?
What was his role? What did he do?
Well, he did what a preacher does. You know.
He was like a chaplain.
Yeah, sort of, yeah, like that. I think he said chopper.
No, chaplain.
Yeah, that's what he was, and the people liked him.
Was he to all the people like yourself? And I mean, who is he chaplain to? To the Air America people, or?
Oh, anybody, the mail.
Oh, I see.
You know, that if they had complaints or something like that, he'd try to do something, you know, about it, and he'd come down, stand in our air-op shack, waiting for an airplane to go wherever he wanted to go. And finally we'd give him an airplane, a Helio or something, send him on his way.
Where was he from?
Huh?
Where was he from?
I think Nova Scotia.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
What an interesting guy.
Maine or someplace back in there.
Yeah.
He was I don't know, I respected him a lot. Everybody did, I suppose, because he was a preacher and stuff. But, what a guy.
Wow.
And, anyway, come up to the air ops, and That's as